Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Victory Gardens Puppet Show. We're very glad to have you all here with us, and you are going to have a great time. But we do have some instructions for this show, and Amber's going to tell us more about it.
Okay. So this is a really special kind of puppet show because what happens is you guys get to decide how the puppet show goes. So our narrators are going to ask you guys some questions, and we want you to respond as best as you can to our narrators' questions. And then towards the end, you guys get to decide how the show ends. Isn't that cool? Yeah? Are you guys excited? Yeah? All right, well then just sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, my name is Petey Pod. I'd like to welcome you to the National Archives. Are you guys ready to hear a story about gardening? Okay, great, then let's get started. Once upon a time...
Wait!
Oh.
I'm sorry. Am I late? I was busy planting a tomato seed. But now I'm ready to hear everything about gardening and even brought my trusty notebook here to take notes. Oh, I didn't even introduce myself. Hi, everybody. My name is Carrot.
Kara, you're just in time. Why don't you have a seat? We'll get started.
Wow, this is so exciting. I don't know anything about gardens. Does anybody know anything about gardening? You know something about gardening. Does anybody have an actual garden? Cool,
Ooh,
that's
very
so
nice.
awesome. My little tomato plant here, I hope to start a garden with myself.
Once upon a time, a long time ago, lived our heroes, Betty and Joe. Let's all get together and clap our hands so we show them we're their fans.
Petey, why are Betty and Joe wearing such weird clothes?
Well, Kara, those were the clothes people used to wear a long time ago. Can I get back to the story now?
Sure, Petey.
Betty and Joe were very hungry one day, and this was a problem, by the way. The reason was very simple. You see, there was a big war happening overseas. Because of this war, there was not enough food, and we had little to eat and many to include.
What does that mean, Petey?
It means that all of the soldiers needed food to eat, but so did the people at home, and it's really hard to get that much food.
So it was a really big problem.
Yes, it was a very big problem. But then someone had a very good thought, one that would change their lives a lot. Let's grow our own food in a garden. That way our soldiers' lives will not harden. But no one had ever gardened before, and they were very scared to start this new chore. But Betty and Joe were very brave. They knew with a garden, there'd be a lot to save. We call them victory gardens, and they helped us win the war. We grew so much that no one even went out to the store. Everyone had a victory garden, even the White House. Everyone got involved, even Mickey Mouse.
That's a big word, victory. Can you tell us what that means, Petey?
Well, why don't I ask our friends? Do you guys know what the word victory means?
Does anybody know what the word victory means?
What
does
do
the
you think?
word mean? When you win something, you're so smart.
That's right, victory means winning. So people during the war grew their gardens so they could help the soldiers win the war.
So the people could eat the food that they grew in the garden.
Yes, and there was lots of food from the victory gardens, and everybody helped out, even little kids like yourselves. Do you guys have any idea where they would grow their gardens?
I don't know. But maybe my friends do. Do you have an idea? Their backyard. Does anybody else have an idea? Where? Their front yard.
Very good.
What
Very
about you?
good.
You had an idea? No? Well, those are all great ideas.
Yes, these kids are very smart. And the people growing gardens were smart too. Gardening is hard, but they learned very fast. They needed to make sure their fruits and vegetables would last. There are lots of things gardeners have to look out for. There's weather, bugs, animals, so much more. Animals especially can be annoying. They enjoy our food, but it's our gardens they're destroying. Now is the part where the story gets good. Because you get to decide what comes out of the wood. Raise your hand when I ask if you think you're up to the task. A rabbit might visit, or maybe a deer, although it might be birds that I hear.
So we get to choose what pests we want in the garden?
Right. You can choose either rabbits, deer, or birds.
Wow. We get to decide what we want to see, guys. That's a really hard choice, though, because I like rabbits because they hop. And then I really like deers because they have big antlers. And then I really love birds because they fly around and sing such pretty songs. So what will we choose, guys? I want you to yell and clap really loud when you hear the animal that you would like to see, okay? Okay? All right. So who would like to see the rabbits? Got him?
I can't hear you guys.
I can't hear you guys. What about the deer? What about
Bird?
the birds?
Oh.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Well, Petey, you've heard our choice.
Ooh, good choice, everybody. Okay, let's see how Betty and Joe deal with birds. Here comes the bird. Look how she soars. She flies and flies and she never bores. The big red tomato catches her eye. It's so big she can see it from the sky. She flies on back to tell her friends about this new garden that she recommends. Meanwhile, Joe has just finished working and he's about to go in for a snack. Once the door closes, the birds will attack. The birds swoop in one by one and they don't stop until they're done. We need to tell Betty. We must be quick or else she'll have nothing to pick.
You heard Petey, everybody. We have to tell Betty before everything is gone. Betty's inside. Let's tell her. Let's call her. Betty! Betty!
Oh, good job, you guys. Betty heard us. So Betty comes out, hearing our shouts, only to find she's missing some sprouts. But Betty knows what she must do, so she may stop the birds from coming through. She calls Joe over to tell him her thought, which she thinks will help stop the birds' plot.
How are they supposed to stop birds, Petey? I mean, they can't fly after all.
You're right, Cara, but Betty is really smart and she has a great idea that will save her garden from the birds. Betty and Joe decide to build a scarecrow so their vegetables will have a chance to grow. They build and build all day long, and when they're done, the scarecrow is very strong.
Wow, a scarecrow is a great idea, don't you guys think? All right. But wait, what if the birds come back? Then what happens to the garden?
Well, let's finish our story. The next day, the birds come flying back, hoping to find a new snack. But wait, this isn't as easy as it was before. Suddenly, there's something else to look for. There's a man in the yard who they do not know, though they can tell from the air it's not Joe. The birds get scared and they fly away to find another garden for the day. See, we did it! We saved the garden. Now Betty and Joe's lives will not harden.
Yay, let's all cheer for Betty and Joe. We helped save their garden.
Very good. See, gardening is hard, as you guys can see, but you learned how to do it. Yay, whoopee! Gardening sure takes a lot of work, but all of the food is an excellent perk. And now our story draws to an end, so until next time, I'll see you, my friend.
Wow, that was really great. You know what, Petey?
What, Cara?
I planted this tomato before the show, and now I'm really excited to see it grow. Did you guys know that you can also plant a garden at home? Just tell Mommy and Dad to buy dirt and plants, and you can start your very own victory garden. Thank you guys for coming to the show.
Thank you.